Welcome to another video. Today I will be playing Terraria. For those of you who don't know, Terraria is a 2D sandbox survival game focused on combat. But before we get into that, don't forget to like and subscribe. I start out in the forest and gather wood to make a starter house which is necessary for NPCs to move in. After that I go exploring and gather stone to later make a furnace used to smelt ores. I find a small cave but don't see anything worth getting and I move on. Soon after that I ran into a desert and gathered cacti to later make armor. Coming out of the desert I find a mountain and grab a chest lodged in a cave before moving on. I immediately go into the corruption and run into several liters of souls and decide to take my chances and run through the corruption. I stop in another cave but don't find anything worthwhile. Right after the corruption there is a jungle and at that point I use my magic mirror to teleport back to spawn. I research several materials and make cactus armor before beginning to explore in the other direction but quickly run into a second corruption. For those of you who don't know, it is rare to start out with 2 corruption biomes. I die to an eater of souls and then find a spot near my base to start a mine. After a little bit I spot an indicator for a mob and dig towards it looking for the cave it has to be in, and after a moment I dig straight into an abandoned house. In the chest I find a boomerang which has more range and does significantly more damage than my shortsword. I continue into the mine and eventually find a cave and fight some slimes before continuing down and finding my first platinum deposit. Platinum is the best normal ore in pre-hard mode and is needed to mine demonite, which is helpful for fighting the first 2 bosses. I find the second deposit of many and notice a mushroom biome. I drop in and after fighting the various enemies I find Hermes boots which give you the ability to run. Then I mine even more platinum. I spot some demonite and after clearing the area of mobs I mine down to get it later. After getting even more platinum I dig out of the mushroom biome and continue my descent. I found my first of 2 life crystals which once used increases your max health by 20 each, and found several more deposits of platinum which are rarely this abundant. I teleport back to base once I exceed 100 platinum ore and research that back at base. I upgraded my mace to a flaming mace with several torches. Seeing as my inventory was filling up quickly I added a second room to the base. I craft a full set of platinum armor and a pickaxe which I use to retrieve the demonite ore I had previously found and reach the deepest part of the cavern's lair and find lava, signifying the underworld wasn't much deeper. I find a pair of boots which lets me walk on water, and soon after I come across a second vein of demonite. I spot a granite biome, and after briefly exploring I die to a puddle of lava. Back at the surface I collect fallen stars before using my life crystals. I decided to skip the first boss, the king slime, but it is easy and annoying to spawn and doesn't drop anything helpful. I turn up the spawn rate to the maximum amount, 10 times, and fight nighttime mobs, focusing on the demon eyes to get their lenses. The reason for this is that the second boss, the Eye of Cthulhu's spawner, takes 6 lenses, a drop that comes from the demon eyes. I get 6 lenses and turn the spawn rate back to 1 before going to the corruption to craft the spawner at an altar. I go around mining demonite and soon after break 2 of the 3 shadow orbs required to fight the Eater of Worlds for their loot. I find a musket with 100 ammo and research the weapon to use later. Back at spawn I prepare for the fight and duplicate the musket and its ammo. I set it to night and the boss battle begins. It's a relatively quick one and I avoid the eye and its minions by dodging back and forth while shooting it with my musket. I get demonite ore and decide to wait to use it until I can research it. It happens to be a blood moon, so I fight that, and once I finish I set it to night and fight eyes until I can finish researching lenses. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more episodes of this series.